In a fighting game, as soon as some players start up the video game, they go into practice mode and learn characters based on the mechanics of the game, such as movement or playstyle. Some may just learn a character they like the look of, and some may just go straight into versus mode to play their friends, which is why it's necessary for the game's characters to make a stunning first impression. One important aspect of characters' appearances is their costumes. The way a character dresses may catch your eye regardless of how seriously you play. So I'm going to look at the most interesting yet practical costumes of fighting game characters. However, there are dozens of fighting games and hundreds of characters, so I'll be doing two lists on this topic. One for the female characters, and one for the male characters. I'll start off with the ladies. It's going to be limited to one character per franchise. However, if we have a game like Fatal Fury, where characters from that series also appeared in the King of Fighters franchise, a character that first appeared in Fatal Fury and then was in a King of Fighters game later, and a different character first appeared in just King of Fighters, then both characters are eligible for this list. Just as long as both characters didn't first appear in King of Fighters, for example, since that's no good. In addition, characters in fighting games that originated in different non-fighting game franchises are not eligible for this list. And finally, I'll be looking at only primary costumes of the characters, since some of the alternate costumes get very ridiculous and out of character, which makes them even more appealing and would have made this list too difficult to complete with all those options. Some characters change their primary costumes over time, so I'll try to specify which one is the best one. Now, I'm no fashion expert, and if I were to choose every costume on this list, they may get a bit outlandish and silly, even for the primary costumes. So I'm calling in a fashion expert for some balance. Her name is Emily.
A, thank you for the compliment. B, some of the things you chose are silly, but I won't hold that against you. You know, in addition to looking good, in my opinion, costumes have to be functional. Like, you don't want to be fighting in skinny jeans or a full skirt, because the range of motion just isn't there. And they have to be functional and good looking, but also there has to be a certain je ne sais quoi to get all international.
Now with the intro done, let's start the top 10 fighting game costumes for female characters. Number 10. Mohr, who initially appeared in the King of Fighters franchise.
See, my problem with her is that you can't type her name into Google with Safe Search on, because you'll get nothing.
Now, Mohr took orders from her boss, Leopold Gonitz, to look over Rugal Bernstein with Mohr's partner, Weiss. That's a lot of names in that sentence. They both posed as Bernstein's secretaries, hence their appearance, and they were later killed by another fighter who also killed Rugal. However, Mohr and Weiss remained alive for some supernatural reason, which is how Mohr obtained that stylish eye patch.
It's a very put-together look, except for the fact that it looks like it's too small around her waist, but hey, some people like that.
I have to say, I like how she was so dedicated to the secretary cover she fought in the outfit. Sure, it restricts movement, but she eventually became some revived from the dead being, so I doubt clothing really matters at that point. Either way, I appreciate some formal wear in a fighting game despite how impractical it would be in real life. Number 9. Mai Shiranui, who premiered in the Fatal Fury series and later showed up in the King of Fighters franchise. Considering she is based off the design of the Kunoichi, a real-life female ninja, her outfit is more practical than you'd imagine. The female ninjas use clothing like Mai's for easy movement and to seduce their opponents, so Mai knows what she's doing. And while she is not the first female ninja to wield a supply of unlimited bladed fans in a fighting game, she is the first to dress like a realistic ninja rather than a conventional jumpsuit with mask ninja that we see everywhere else, which I'm still a fan of to note. And using the word fan there was not meant to be a pun, but it just kinda happened.
I like this. I like the cut of the costume, I like the combo of red and white, I really like the high ponytail, it's very sporty, but chic at the same time. And I like that that ball is sort of part of her costume and part of her weapon or fighting style. The one thing I'm not sure about is the shoes. They look like mittens for your feet. Fittins, if you will.
Number 8 is Sarah Bryant from the Virtua Fighter franchise.
Well, of course, there's another high ponytail here, so you know I like that. And I like the color of the catsuit. And you know, there's nothing special that stands out about this outfit. It makes sense. And that's good. Now,
the Virtua Fighter series has always been about more simple character designs. However, Sarah has appeared in a Dead or Alive fighting game as a guest character, where she was a more underdressed character in comparison to the more elaborate character designs. However, her jumpsuit still fit in with the rest of the characters, showing that sometimes less is more. And if you keep on watching this list, we'll show you how more is more. Still, I do like the design as well. Number 7. Valentine from Skullgirls. In a game like Skullgirls, where every character has a unique design, you need to have a motif that makes you stand out. And I like the idea of a profession being a fighting style, even though Valentine is not your typical nurse. Actually had trouble thinking of a character from Skullgirls to include, so this was my co-host's idea.
You can never go wrong with a sexy nurse. You just can't. It's impossible. And while the very short skirt isn't very conducive to high kicks, I would think, it looks good.
Yeah, but what I really like about Valentine's costume is that she's a standard ninja with everything being replaced by medical-related moves and tools. If we look at ninjas from other fighting games, you can see how every detail in Valentine's costume is a medical equivalent to ninja gear. Kunai is red crosses, or now pink crosses, her surgical mask being a ninja mask, and her stance is the same as another ninja in a fighting game, but I just can't put my finger on it. Get out of here, Mai, you already had your turn. Anyway, can't put my finger on it. Number 6. King, who initially appeared in the Art of Fighting franchise and then later showed up in the King of Fighters franchise. That's the third character that eventually showed up in the King of Fighters franchise on this list. As I said with Valentine, I like it when characters bring their profession to the fight. However, King's outfit only matches her profession, which is a bartender, and not her fighting style, which is Muay Thai. But that's not what this list is about, so it's okay. If you think about it, this is an excellent marketing plan. Everyone will know she's a bartender with that outfit, and everyone wants to come to the bar with a badass fighter pouring scotch, so King works as an excellent spokesperson. The bow tie is also nice. I'm not the fashion expert here. What do you have to say?
I choose not to comment on the bartender. This was all your decision.
Aww, but considering how similarly other Muay Thai fighters dress in other fighting games, it's refreshing to see a fighter that breaks the monotony. She even takes off her vest sometimes for better movement. She knows what she's doing. Totally doesn't restrict movement now. Yeah. Number 5. Jun Kazama from the Tekken franchise. I'm gonna go for the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 look since it has birds flying from the pants to the shirt. How about that design? So sorry to those who were fans of her classic look.
This is another one I'm not wild about, but I mean, she has birds on her pants. Birds are pretty cool. And I like the
More birds?
thing she has tied around her neck, because, you know, if she gets cold while she's kicking ass, she's gonna need it, so good going.
My sole motivation for putting this costume on the list is the birds flying from one article of clothing to the other. How do you find a matching outfit like that? You can't just walk into a Gucci store and find this design as the newest fashion, and she obviously did not find a shirt and pair of pants that just happen to have similar bird designs on them. This had to have been custom made. I want answers, and I want to know who thought it'd be a good idea to have this design on a shirt and pair of pants and have it interact so uniquely. It's gold! Figuratively, of course. They're mostly white and black or navy blue colored. But there's a little bit of gold right there. Just a little bit. Number 4. Elena Douglas from the Dead or Alive series.
Oh, Helena, where do I start? I like the color. I always like blue. I like the detailing at the chest. She's no nonsense. Like, it really befits her icy demeanor. The one thing I'm not wild about are the bangs. They're a little
Bangy?
high for me. But overall, I really like this.
With like 20 specific shades of every basic color, I approve Helena's choice of the royal blue colored outfit. Always choose the shade that has royal in its name. Number 3. Sonya Blade from the Mortal Kombat franchise. Of all the fighters in Mortal Kombat, Sonya has had the most varied costumes over the franchise's lifetime, and we're going to go over some of them. I've always been accustomed to the Mortal Kombat 3 attire that looks more like just yoga gear, but hey, you can move around in it. Sure, it looks like she's ready to start playing workout tapes by Fonda, but it's nostalgic. Really, that costume has not aged well. It looks like it's straight from the 90s. But on to the better costumes. Another Sonya costume we like is the Mortal Kombat vs. DC look. Although it's a less is more design, it does have some distinguishing features. To me, the beret that she's wearing. This costume later showed up as her alternate costume in Mortal Kombat 9, where a few minor things were changed, such as the beret now being a stylish baseball cap. However, Emily, I know you're the big Sonya fan, so I'll let you discuss.
I'm a huge Sonya Blade fan, and I mean, this outfit, it might not be the most practical of things to wear, but it gets the job done. It connotes that she's military. It just works. Now, this outfit is the one I really like. I mean, it's classic. Like, a white tank top and shorts. Can't get much more American than that. Just, it works. And the aviators, perfect.
Number 2. Chun-Li from the Street Fighter franchise. Being iconic is not the only reason she's here. Her outfit manages to stand out for being unique and could actually be practical in reality. Her dress is a traditional Chinese dress, a qi-pao. However, a typical qi-pao is tighter and not meant for the movement of a fighter. Chun-Li's Ki-Pow is much looser if you've noticed, and allows for more fluid motion. See, those puffy shoulder parts of the dress weren't just there to grab attention. And of course, a part of Chun-Li's legacy is in her hair buns.
Chun-Li's a classic. I mean, look at those hair buns. You just can't go wrong with the hair buns. She's iconic.
Even if you're not buying the idea of the dress being practical, maybe the Street Fighter Alpha appearance of Chun-Li will tickle your fancy. She keeps the dress design in her vest, but wears a unitard and some stylish sneakers, which is probably better for movement purposes anyway. Yeah, that makes more sense than the dress, but I guess if you look good, you feel good, which is why the dress has remained her primary costume. Finally to note, she has those spiked wristbands, which I really hope are made of rubber, otherwise it's amazing that she's never injured anybody horribly with those spikes. On screen, that is. Number 1. Dramatic build-up, dramatic build-up. Alright, you can see the silhouette right there, and you might know who she is, so I'll just reveal it. Number 1 is Hilde from the Soul Calibur franchise. Her primary costumes in Soul Calibur 4 and 5 are basically the same, so both apply here. In Soul Calibur, we see enough characters in clunky armor, but Hilde is the first female character in the series to have a full suit of armor and not just to be wearing cloth to protect her in battle. Unlike the other characters with full body armor though, it doesn't look as stiff, and I could see how she could move with little restriction if this was to be worn in real life.
She has a lot going on. I feel like if you touched her, she'd creak like a suit of armor, which is what she's wearing.
Besides being able to protect you from a few hits by a sword and being functional, there are a bunch of designs on this armor that makes it stand out from your typical medieval armor. Yeah, who cares if it protects your body? I want some detailed molding. And are there birds? Yeah, on her helmet. She also has a coat of arms for her homeland, that shoulder blade design, and that kneecap design, which is making a face at me. Don't think I didn't notice you. In the Soul Calibur 4 design, there is also a wolf design instead of the bird design on her shoulder and helmet, which makes more sense since her homeland is named Wolfkrone. There's actually a good amount of changes that you notice between the 4 and 5 design if you look more closely. However, I'll take the design with the bird on it since that's what got Jun Kazama on this list. So with an outfit that allows for great mobility when on the offensive, armor that can easily defend you, and technique... No, that's what I get for using the Street Fighter ranking system. Design. Hilde's costume is our number 1. Any costume for female characters in fighting games we did not include? Let us know. And we're not done on this topic just yet. We still have to cover the guys, which you might be able to find by clicking that thumbnail annotation combo right there. But you won't know unless you try clicking, or look on the channel, or you can just let this video end and go do something else. I'm not the boss of you. Anyway, thanks for watching.